It all started on what seemed like a typical weekday episode of The View. The energy was light, the audience cheerful, and the panel was diving into their usual roundtable of hot topics. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing, one that would erupt into a controversy no one saw coming. Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, two veterans of the show, two outspoken voices, and two women who had weathered countless debates together, found themselves on opposite ends of a cultural fault line. The topic: comedy and political correctness. It was supposed to be routine, but something shifted. Joy, known for her sharp tongue and unapologetic style, took a stance that sparked discomfort. Whoopi, equally unfiltered, but grounded in a different moral compass, didn't hold back in her response. The tension was immediate, subtle at first, then unmistakable. As the conversation escalated, the room grew colder. Their usual chemistry, once the cornerstone of the show's success, began to fracture right in front of the live audience. The other hosts sat awkwardly, sensing that this wasn't just another spirited debate. This was personal. Viewers at home felt it too. Social media ignited within minutes. Clips of the moment circulated, hashtags trended, and speculation soared. Was this the beginning of the end for one of daytime television's most iconic duos? Insiders later revealed that the conflict didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Tensions carried on behind the scenes. Staffers whispered of heated words in the dressing rooms, of production meetings filled with unease. The show had always thrived on debate, but this was different. Fans were divided. Some praised Joy for defending free speech in comedy. Others sided with Whoopi, applauding her call for accountability. The controversy struck a nerve far beyond the studio, became a reflection of a larger cultural divide. In the days that followed, both women remained on the show, but something had changed. The air was heavier. The chemistry, once effortless, now felt strained. And although public statements minimized the incident, the audience could tell a line had been crossed. This wasn't just a disagreement. It was a clash of ideologies, of generations, of values, and it left a mark not just on The View, but on the national conversation it helped shape. Cameras continue to roll, but the mood has shifted. The usual back and forth, that rhythm the audience has come to expect, is gone. Joy leans back in her seat, arms crossed, her expression tight. Whoopi, eyes narrowed just slightly, keeps her voice calm, but there's an unmistakable edge to it. Now, no one's laughing, not the panel, not the audience. Producers behind the scenes glance at each other, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let it play out. This isn't just television anymore, it's a minefield, and every word threatens to trigger something deeper. The silence between Joy and Whoopi is louder than anything being said. Sunny Hostin looks down at her notes, clearly uncomfortable, trying not to get caught in the crossfire. Sarah N shifts in her chair, stealing glances at both of them, hoping someone will crack a smile and reset the energy. But that smile never comes. The studio audience senses it too. The usual bursts of applause are missing. There's an awkward tension, like everyone's holding their breath. Viewers at home are glued to their screens, not because they're entertained, but because they can't look away. There's something raw happening here, something real. Joy adjusts her mic, avoiding eye contact. Whoopi stares ahead, focused, but tight-lipped. Neither of them wants to be the one to back down. And so, for several minutes, the air is thick with unsaid words, tight-lipped restraint, and a quiet war of presence. This isn't just about the topic anymore. It's about pride. It's about legacy. It's about two towering personalities, both fiercely intelligent and unapologetically bold, refusing to yield. The segment drags on longer than expected. The control room hesitates. This is chaos, yes, but it's also compelling. Ratings gold. But at what cost? No jokes, no resolution. Just tension. Live. National unedited. The moment hangs in the air, suspended, and everyone on stage, backstage, and at home knows something has cracked. Even if it hasn't shattered, not yet. One of the stagehands moves behind the cameras, quietly adjusting a light, hoping not to break the fragile equilibrium. Every movement feels louder than it should. The clink of a coffee mug, the shuffle of a card, even the faint hum of the studio lights seems intrusive. Joy clears her throat not to speak, just to fill the space. It doesn't help. Whoopi taps her pen once, then sets it down with deliberate calm. She looks past the table, out toward the audience, not really seeing them. Her silence is its own kind of power. Joy finally shifts in her chair, her jaw tight, blinking more than usual. She's not angry. Not yet, but she's calculating. Not with malice, but with caution. Decades of being on air have taught her exactly how dangerous live silence can be. Still, she doesn't speak. Nobody does. It's as if the entire set is holding its breath, caught in that invisible tug of war between two minds that know each other too well. They've sparred before. They've disagreed before. But this is different. This is restraint. This is control on the edge of collapse. Behind the cameras, a producer silently raises a finger. 30 seconds until break. The camera operator zooms in slightly, capturing the micro-expressions, the tight lips, the shallow breathing, the intensity in Whoopi's eyes, the guarded posture in Joy's shoulders. On the far end of the table, Sunny tries to offer a segue to soft suggestion, to pivot, but the sound dies before it leaves her mouth. She glances toward Whoopi, then toward Joy, then back at the producer's booth, as if asking for permission to breathe. Sarah forces a small smile. It's the kind of smile people use at funerals, Paulette's strained and almost apologetic. The audience doesn't react. They're watching two statues at war. 10 seconds. Joy tilts her head slightly, finally looking in Whoopi's direction, but not directly at her. More like around her, carefully, deliberately. Whoopi doesn't move. 5 seconds. The screen graphic begins to fade in for commercial, but no one relaxes, not yet. The music cue is playing, but it feels disconnected, cheerful and bouncy, like a cruel mismatch to the weight hanging in the air. Then, the red light atop the camera goes dark. They've gone to break, but no one moves. Not yet. The red light above the camera fades, signaling the commercial break, but the atmosphere on set doesn't shift, not even slightly. There's no laughter, no whispered jokes, no sudden exhale, just stillness. The audience sits frozen, unsure if applause is expected. No one claps. A few glance at each other, lips pressed, unsure whether they've witnessed conflict or performance or both. At the table, the hosts remain in their places, hands resting exactly where they were a moment ago. Whoopi stays forward in her seat, elbows on the table, fingers steepled lightly but unmoving. Her gaze hasn't softened. Joy blinks once, twice, then lowers her eyes to the edge of the table, not to look at anything, just to disconnect for a second. Her lips part slightly, as if to say something, but nothing comes out. No one dares speak first. A production assistant hesitates just off camera, holding a makeup sponge, waiting to approach, waiting for any sign of permission. She doesn't move. The stage manager in the wings gives a small, slow, circular motion with his hand. The universal sign for keep it cool, keep it moving. But no one moves. Sunny finally shifts in her seat, not much. Just a gentle realignment, like she's trying to remind herself that her body exists in space. Her eyes flick between Joy and Whoopi, reading their faces like pages, in a language she only half understands. Sarah's fingers gently rub against each other in her lap. A quiet fidget masked as rest. She casts a glance toward the producer's booth, but it offers no answers, just silhouettes and stillness. The studio lights remain fixed, bathing everything in that unnatural brightness. It's supposed to feel safe, familiar, comforting, but it doesn't. There's a kind of acoustic vacuum now. The hum of the cameras, a distant shuffle of a cue card, a throat cleared far in the audience, instantly regretted. Still no one speaks. Still no one breathes too deeply. In that tiny, airless silence, everything is suspended, not just time, but history. Years of camaraderie, of disagreements, of laughter, of on-air battles that ended with a smile. All of it is hovering, waiting to see where gravity will land this moment. And the moment refuses to end.